When you hear Roe v. Wade, you instantly think of abortion. Well, it's much more than that, actually. In 1973, Roe v. Wade recognized a woman's constitutional right to an abortion, but the ruling was actually much broader. It gave women the privacy to make their own medical decisions, saying that that was protected under the 14th Amendment. So let's talk about privacy. After Roe v. Wade came down, it established that women, and men for that matter, have a fundamental constitutional right to privacy. The decision was used to smack down old laws. It was a factor in getting rid of a Texas law making it illegal for men to have sex with each other, and another law making it illegal for unmarried women to live with their boyfriends. Roe v. Wade was used to defend not only abortions, but also extends to other medical decisions, like the right to use alternative medicines that were unproven, and even the right to die. Also now at risk, if Roe v. Wade is overturned, birth control and in vitro fertilization. This is due to proposed personhood laws saying people are afforded rights starting the very moment an egg is fertilized by sperm, meaning some common forms of birth control like the pill and IUD could be illegal. Just a good reminder that Roe v. Wade is not just about abortion, but it's also about the privacy of women and men to make intimate decisions. Joining me now is Mary Ziegler. She's a law professor and the author of Beyond Abortion, Roe v. Wade and the Battle for Privacy. Amy, thanks for being with us. Mary, I'm sorry. Thank you for being with us. You wrote an opinion piece in the New York Times earlier this year about Roe v. Wade and privacy. Tell us more about how this abortion ruling influenced things like gay and lesbian rights, as well as unmarried women living with men to whom they're not married.
Sure. So right after Roe was decided, people seized on the fact that Roe said that the right to privacy was broad enough to encompass a woman's right to choose. And I think what interested a lot of social activists at the time was this idea that the right to privacy could be even broader than Roe had suggested. So after Roe, you saw a pretty broad range of activists really on the right and left using Roe to argue for new ideas about the right to privacy. As you mentioned, this included a right to sexual intimacy for unmarried women, for gays and lesbians. It included a right for consumers to try untested medicines when other options had ran out. It included a right for mental patients to receive better treatment, the right to die. So there was a lot of new thinking about what our privacy politics could look like. Even I think significantly now, given the world we live in with Cambridge Analytica, a right to control data or data privacy. So all of those ideas were available after Roe, and people used Roe in making those important arguments.
I guess that's the argument about it being established law, that the Supreme Court rules on it, it becomes law, and it becomes the basis for other decisions that are made by lower courts and sometimes by the Supreme Court itself.
Right, exactly. I think the challenge about the established law argument, of course, is, as I trace in my book, the attack on Roe began as soon as Roe came down. And of course, the Supreme Court has modified and chipped away at Roe in various ways, even while Anthony Kennedy was on the court. So I think we're going to have a debate about what we mean by precedent when we're talking about the future of Roe and the future of legal abortion.
And while we have you here, because you're an expert on this, it's useful to understand the argument. People who are against abortion rights or Roe v. Wade say Roe v. Wade wasn't, the Constitution doesn't explicitly protect the right to abortion. So when they made reference to the 14th Amendment, what exactly is Roe v. Wade saying that people have a right to?
It's about the right to make decisions about whether or not to end a pregnancy. And when the court in Roe was looking at that right, they were looking not so much at the text of the Constitution, but at all of the many precedents in which Roe was grounded. So these included the right to choose to use contraception, whether you're an individual or whether you're married, even rights involving things like whom you marry or whether you marry. So there is sort of a larger network of decisions about personal liberty in the home, in the family, when it comes to reproduction. And so one of the interesting questions, I think, going forward is if the Supreme Court is going to overrule Roe, are they going to do it in a way that threatens, for example, contraception or in vitro fertilization, or are they going to be able to kind of successfully cabin abortion in a way I think that would be less politically risky, certainly.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.